What's up, guys? That Really Gross Guy here. We are back, and today we are going to be taking a look and talking about a few things regarding Tennocon 2022, and I'm very excited. I always do kind of an update before Tennocon, talking about some of the content we have seen and has not been released in the game yet, as well as stuff that we can kind of expect from Tennocon. But what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to play through the teaser trailer, the short recent 2022 trailer for you guys with a little bit of audio, and then I will go back through and point out a few things that I think are noteworthy and some things we can speculate on. So without further ado, let's jump on in and take a look.
My child, my friend, what was done is done. New dangers, new choices await us now. For now, dream of who we were and of who we have become.
All right, so I'll point these out, especially now, if you are going to be watching Tennocon Live or TennoLive. Make sure you link your accounts for Twitch and whatnot so that you do get your free Titania Prime, as well as this Crescent Knight bundle, which is going to include these fans, as well as this little Sugatras, and then this Stranger's Hood as well, if you are interested for your operator. So this is the trailer for 2019 from way back in the day, the Duviri Paradox. You guys have probably all seen this as well, but this has similar information, or at least similar aesthetic and teasers compared to this little teaser. But let's jump back in. I want to point out a few things for this trailer. So, of course, we have, if you are familiar, I'm going to try not to spoil anything for those who are working their way through the story to the best of my ability. Most of you will recognize this individual. We have no idea really what this is currently. It does appear to be a altered version of a Dax soldier. It does have some sort of Nakana at its side, and then on top of that there is this intricate, cool looking, like skeletonized horse that it rides, and I think that's super cool. It does have a similar aesthetic to the recent Zariman kind of update, I guess. I'm not sure. And then we have the attack that occurs against this individual, blasting him with a Tigress. A little bit of a snippet there, and now we are riding upon horseback. Very interesting. So you heard in this teaser Lotus saying, what's done is done, and if you played the recent quest, that kind of alludes to the fact that all of this crazy change that's happened in the universe or whatever is not, we can't do anything about it. I don't really believe that, to be honest. It seems like there's two different realities, I suppose, almost as though there's the capability of stumbling back into a previous reality, or even moving to a whole nother alternate reality or something, and just everything is different. I don't really know. Maybe this is a permanent change that Digital Extremes is going to, enforce from here on out, but it kind of is disappointing because of some of the changes that have been made, and some of the characters we fell in love with, some of the aesthetics that have changed that kind of don't give me the feels for content before. I'm mostly talking about like Fortuna, but anyways, even Cetus to some degree. But the giant void worm, which is sick. So here we see an individual riding upon horseback. This makes me wonder if we do have Arcwing and K-drives and stuff. Is there a possibility of having mounted, mounts or a mounted whatever? We have Necromechs as well. I don't know. That would be pretty sick if this becomes some sort of future transportation or even combat style. Another thing to point out is there is a structure here. For a little while, I felt like Duviri, which has been mentioned in the previous update, just briefly. Duviri is this alternate world dimension, something or other. It's all black and white, but you do see snippets of color here and there. So there must be some sort of weaving of realities, I think. Like this is Limbo almost. Maybe this is where Limbo came from. Anyways, but there's a structure here which makes me think this is an environment that we can interact with, not just like a little story-based place we walk through, but maybe even as big as an open world. I don't know, but there's a structure here, so that's interesting. Like this is a place that is inhabited maybe by others, so other than the Dax on the horse. I don't know. So that is interesting. The giant void worm, yeah, this thing is sick. There is the Duviri, which we'll see just another little snapshot of that here in a moment. The operator individual, the Zariman in the background, which is just strewn with this intricate design, which we saw on the Zariman, but we also see that design attached to this world or this open plane. It's interesting. A little statue thing here that looks to be a work in progress, but I don't know. There's a face and what may be a hand. So that's interesting. If you watch the 4-minute long trailer, you see several of these in that and a lot more of this design in there. So very interesting. This almost looks as though this is like a very small, just landmass that is floating in space or something. But maybe that's how it's going to be. Maybe that's where the open space design that Digital Extremes is going for, where we take Railjack to most of the content in the game in the future. I don't know. I did just notice he had these claw marks across his outfit, so that's interesting. A young individual. Oop, okay. The Duviri actual person? Duviri? I don't know. What I find interesting about this, of course, is we do have a very human-like form. This arm, however, is different. And, of course, for some reason, they wear this mask. Back several years ago at Tennocon in the art panel, they did mention that this individual, or the Duviri's individuals in general, were almost Orokin worshippers or something. I don't know if that's still the case. Maybe they completely wiped that lore because it wasn't added in game yet. That was just kind of the original kind of lore crafting. But that's very interesting. You do see Orokin-like color schemes here with the throne and probably even the outfit, because it is kind of a lighter, with grays and some gold. The blue is actually, you think about skin tone for at least Ballas. So, anyways, it's kind of that feel I'm getting from the Duviri. This doesn't appear to be much, maybe from the original onset, but there is only one character we've interacted with at this point that wields dual Nakanas, and that specifically is Teshin. So there has been some revelations in the last quest regarding Teshin, and there's questions definitely to be had there. So first and foremost, dual Nakanas. Does this mean we will be able to wield dual Nakanas in the future? Now that it technically has a stance, because Teshin use dual Nakanas for our time playing as Teshin in the last quest, that is possible that dual Nakanas will now be available for us to use. The other question is, I feel like this just look or this little aesthetic leads me to believe that maybe Teshin is going to play a role in Duviri. I could be wrong, but is it possible that this crazy alternate reality or whatever that is going on here, maybe Teshin is going to attempt to help us or whatnot? Obviously, that requires some questions to be answered if Teshin is going to be a part of this quest and potentially pull us through the reality gates. I don't know, however that works. So yeah, that's cool. I would love to see a crazy, intricate Teshin heroic kind of thing going on there. I don't know, but all right, Duviri Paradox, last whatever. And then, of course, we talked about the rewards for watching TennoLive, so just keep that in mind. So yeah, there are also some deluxe skins and stuff we can talk about for this upcoming portion, but first and foremost, I do want to kind of give a quick thought for the content that we're going to be seeing in this event. So, of course, I think the main focal point for this event is the Duviri Paradox and showing us as much that they kind of have set in stone for the Duviri Paradox to kind of hype up the update. I do hope they plan on doing some more tweaking to some of the in-game systems in preparation for this new event. The Eximus stuff is still, in my opinion, needs some help, needs some work. It has turned a lot of mid-game players to not be able to basically finish Kuva liches, because once you get into those later missions, those Eximus are insane, and it just makes things incredibly difficult. Even as simple as the running Axii relics is significantly harder for a newer player, and a lot of the rare like Warframe blueprints and stuff like that are tucked away in those Axii relics. And honestly, I feel like it's going to turn off a lot of early to mid game players if they can't get what they need to finish their blueprints and stuff. And the grinding is getting a little bit crazy, especially when you're going through and trying to get Kuva liches and you have failed the execution on your third or fourth try, and all of those units and those missions are like 100, and Eximuses are popping up left and right with just so much health and armor. I feel like that's going to frustrate a lot of players. I think that needs some work. And yeah, I am excited. I love the lore in this game, but I have found myself recently playing other stuff. I don't know. I been a little bit frustrated. I've been trying to make some new builds, but it seems like if you're not playing the meta, you basically have to stay in the star chart. You can't do, Kuva stuff. You can't do the Zariman, any of that stuff if you're not playing with like more meta builds, specific Warframes, and even having like certain arcanes. It's almost like it's locking you out of a lot of content because of mostly the Eximus changes, but other things as well. Just kind of like power creep and some Warframes just not being able to stand up to some of that content. So I think those are drastically need some help. So but lastly, for this little talk about for Tennocon, there are 3 deluxe skins that I can think of off the top of my head. We have not seen a new Warframe design, as far as I remember. Some of you might be able to, maybe something slipped here or there, and I completely forgot. But I don't think we've seen any new designs for Warframes, so that is interesting. The new Prime has been following a pattern. So I believe according to this, what are the pattern in which we have been seeing primes, we are going to see Korra Prime. It seems as though if we follow the pattern, it usually goes male, male, female, female, and then it sometimes will skip one in case a bunch have been released at a time, you know. So it looks as though we had Nidus, we had Harrow, so 2 males, and then we had Gara already released based on sequential order. So the next female frame to be released would be Korra. I don't think they're going to change their pattern because I don't think they have all these years. So it looks like Korra would be the next prime. So excited about that. What's also interesting is Excalibur Umbra released after Korra, and I don't think we're getting an Excalibur Umbra Prime. That's not how that works, but that is interesting to see because it would be female, it would be Korra, then another female, and then it would go Revenant. So anyways, yeah, so one of the big gameplay things that is supposed to be coming to Warframe that we have not seen yet is the modular Arcwing. And I think that is mostly because they're working on space travel with our railjacks and things like that, which is going to heavily affect some of our Arcwing stuff because we also come from our railjack into an Arcwing. So maybe after railjack is fleshed out more, modular Arcwing will become more of a thing. Maybe the big reveal is going to be that this space combat travel from planet to planet and whatever is going to be the big reveal. I don't think so. I think there's a lot more time and a lot more work that has to be done to the game before we are using railjack as our main form of transportation. Maybe they completely scrapped that whole idea. I don't know. But modular Arcwing has not made it yet. It probably won't soon. But anyways, and then lastly, I guess the 3 different deluxes. So we have this really dope looking Protea Deluxe design that you can see here. Protea is awesome. She is very new, and I would love to see other older frames get the deluxe treatment. But I believe all 3 of these have been fan creations, and they basically have been like, yeah, you know, that looks phenomenal, so let's try it, let's do it. So one of those is Protea, looks absolutely awesome. The next one actually is Zaku, which we have seen. I think this thing looks really, really cool. I actually really like Zaku as like a weapons platform, I guess, especially because it has pretty much an invincibility build for Zaku if you have certain build. Very cool. And then lastly, I could be missing one. Okay, Zephyr, remember this? Okay, I'll just leave this here. This is not going to happen. This is like years old. This is like 5 years old or longer. I don't know if this is even being worked on. It was supposed to be a passion project. Maybe it's been dropped. Anyways, lastly, Baruch Deluxe. Interesting. I don't know if I would use the helmet. I don't know. I got to see it in game. But there we go. 3 new deluxe skins. Work in progress. Excited. Anyways, I would love to hear what you guys think, what you're excited for in Warframe, and what maybe you think needs work. Because, oh boy, do some things need work. And I would hate for Warframe to kind of fall by the wayside because of maybe some complexity for newer players, or like content gates because players just don't have the time to sink into grinding, or just don't want to do meta builds. I don't know. It's unfortunate because I have been building some really awesome fashion frames with some really intricate weapons and stuff, but it does not fall into meta, and it makes it impossible for me to run like end game content, like the Zariman or Kuva liches and stuff like that, and it's sad. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you guys again in the next episode. Blah.